Yo, what's going on out there, YouTube family? I know you've seen a lot of Euphoria content coming out of Team JVS, and it's not over with yet because tonight is the night. The episode just aired, and we want to give you guys a true to form after show that is going to be about 30 minutes long. It's going to be open discussion and it's going to be full of spoilers. So if you don't want to get spoiled, you haven't seen the episode yet, just come back to this. Watch later, put the post notifications, and you should be good. But I'm going to go ahead and announce some of our hosts. First host up. What's going on, Nat?
Okay. Hi. I'm Natasha, aka Natty Willie. You may have seen some of my Wheel of Time videos, so I'm here for Euphoria now. So it's all about Euphoria. So thank you. Hi.
Yes. Happy to have you. Next up, we have Ant. Ant Gold. What's
And
good, sir?
go. That's great. Nice to be here. The wait is finally over. I am happy to talk about this episode. It's been thirsty for it. Been thirsty for it.
And last but not least, we have our very own Jarrell Alexandria. What's going on, good sir? You can't see him, but he's here.
Yeah, as per usual. But yeah, what's going on, man? I'm doing good. Yeah, it's been a long 2-year wait, so I'm ready to get cracking at it.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and swing for the fences. So the finale. I'm just curious for all you guys' perspective. The way that it ended, I mean, of course, it was an amazing sequence. It was beautifully choreographed. It was beautifully sung. It was beautifully shot. But did your guys' interpretation of what happened was that Rue OD'd, or did you feel like she just lost herself? What was your interpretation of that in transition to the special that was with Coleman Domingo and, of course, Zendaya for the very first part one special? So I was curious y'all's perspective on that transition before we even get into the episode.
So she 100% overdose in the season 1 finale, if that's what you're referring to. I think she 1,000% overdose. It's just that there's been a time skippage, like a flash forward, if you will. And sorry, what was the second part of your question? What do we think of this?
Going in transition to this sequence right here. Going into from that moment, going to right here. How do you feel about this episode and going into it from the finale?
I thought this was a great episode. I think I gave it like a 9 or a 10 out of 10. I thought it was fantastic, even though it's just Ali and Rue talking for like what felt like an hour and 40 minutes. But no, I think it's a fantastic episode. I thought it was deep. It was pretty harrowing. And probably my favorite performance from Coleman Domingo. Yeah.
Nat or Ant, what about you guys? What did you guys think about the finale and even transitioning over to the specials leading to the first episode that we just saw?
And if you want to go first.
Yeah, I 100% thought she OD'd. I got a very. If anybody watched Nurse Jackie, Nurse Jackie ended with kind of the same kind of sequence, the surreal OD experience. That's what I got from that, but I loved it. Just all the themes they dealt with throughout the season, just was greatly portrayed. And this leading into the special, I love. I'm sure there's a term for it that I don't know, but I love just two characters in a room talking scenarios like the sunset limiter, things like that, because you can get the writing in that down. You get some amazing stuff out of that, and you get really deep dive into what those characters are going through. I also like from the perspective of her sponsor. A lot of times people think to be a sponsor or to be a mental health professional or a big brother, you got to be perfect, right? You don't have to be perfect. You're going through some of the same stuff they went through, where you've been down that road, and you're really just trying to plan out pitfalls that you dealt with, and you know how to how not to fall for certain BS or sob stories that get in the way of somebody getting to their higher functioning points. So I don't know. I loved it. I loved both specials, but especially that first one.
Great. What about you, Nat?
Yeah, I agree with both of the men here. So like the season finale, it was a little jarring for me initially, but I rolled with it. Like I knew it was she OD'd, and it was weird, but it still worked for the context of the show. And just transitioning to the special, it was just super raw, and the conversation is really relevant to someone that, you know, has an addiction. And even like what Ant said, you're getting it from the sponsor's perspective as well as her, and the acting was just phenomenal. Like it was it was just really, really good. It was really good.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. For me, so this is the thing, for context, so you guys don't know, I looked at the first episode of season 2 first before I looked at anything else. I had not seen the episode, I had not seen the specials, and it was brought to my attention from Lucas. He was like, you know what, if the show is so good, you can watch one episode of just the second season and go back and let them know ahead of time if it's worth it. And it was so interesting because as soon as I got done with the first episode of season 2, I was like, I gotta go back. So I binged the whole entire thing and the 2 specials. And I felt like, again, the cinematography, the acting, the rawness, and then even like the time jump and what that meant for these very flawed but very special and important characters to this narrative. It's just so amazing in so many different respects. I can't really put it into words, but let's just get into it. So,
wait, can I say one more
episode
thing?
1. Yeah,
Sorry,
go ahead,
can I say one
go
more
ahead.
thing? I was also missing the soundtrack of every episode. The soundtrack of this show is amazing. Hey, I was like, you know what? I need that on my Spotify playlist. Hold on one second, real quick. I am digging it. I am quarterback, and this first episode was all about us '90s kids. So,
You're right.
So good. I was like, wow, they're bringing us back. Like I felt like I was at a party from the 90s. Like it was so awesome.
It definitely had that. Everything about it had that vibe of a party that you've been to or you've seen. Like you feel it. Like you feel it from the atmosphere, the way it was shot, all the different scenarios, whether fantastical or not. Like it really did feel like, okay, this is it. And they brought you in, of course, with the music, as they always really do. But what did you guys feel about this episode? Like, did it meet your expectations? Did it, you know, go past your expectations? Was it just okay? I'm just curious y'all's perspective.
Can I just say the music in the show is fantastic, and this show not only turned me on to Megan Stallion, but there's a song from Megan Stallion called "Cock as Fuck." That shit is fucking fantastic. Anyway, wipe that away. I guarantee it bumps on the whip. But anyway, so the first episode of season 2, I think I gave season 1 like an 8 out of 10, and intriguingly, this first episode, season 2, I'd probably give it like an 8 out of 10. Mm-hmm. It definitely reminds me. I was telling Sam that the first time I was watching season 1, I actually really didn't like it. Mm-hmm. And my buddy was watching it, and I watched it with him, and then that sort of rewired something. So oddly, this first pilot is pretty similar. Like it's very abrasive. It's very in your face with like disgusting or like imagery that I did not prefer to see. At least not in that sort of execution anyway. Yeah, I thought it was great. I am a little concerned with where this is all leading. But other than that, I thought it was pretty great. Pretty great.
Okay. Nat, what about you?
I thought it was, again, a little jarring, but it helped me remember what happened in season 1 and just the craziness of it. And I'm like, okay, we're right back where we left off as far as the craziness and just the shock factor of like just stuff popping off, and you know it's going to get worse throughout the season, especially with Nate and Fez. Like that last scene, I'm just like, wow. But the beginning part, for me, it kind of dragged just a little long. Like I was like, okay, we got the grandma, Fez's, grandma. We now know like how she got into a coma, that kind of thing. But I felt like it was like a little too long. I felt like I was starting to get bored just a little bit, but then it picked back up again, and we were pretty much catching up with everyone. So yeah, it's still solid for me. If I had to rate it, I would probably still do like an 8 out of 10.
Yeah. What about you, Ant?
Oh man, I loved everything about this episode from beginning to end. I will say that there was a lot of things that the jarring industry. Look, there's a lot of penis, people. There's a lot of penis. There's just a lot of penis, and then
There's a lot
was
of
like, we want equality. We want erect penis, and I'm pretty sure this is the first erect penis on a HBO show. But they were like, we're getting erect penis for equality, and I think that's what happened. So just prepare for it. It's in your face. It's penis from all angles, people. Penis from all angles. But like you said before, the main setting was the party. And it's a party we've all been to. I've been that person. I've avoided that person.
Right.
I wanted to be that person. I didn't want to be that person. So it was great. The collaboration of how they make this is just so artful, because we've seen stereotypical high school, college party scenes and whatnot. But no, this felt a lot. It felt like they actually threw a party. Like, look, guys, this party. We got some scenes to film, and we're gonna be doing some angles or whatever. But you keep doing what you're doing, And I think that's what I really felt like.
Yeah, no, I definitely felt with all that. One thing that I realized, I don't know if you guys feel it differently than me, because I didn't wait like 3 to 4 years for this. I literally just watched it like day before yesterday and yesterday. So it's kind of like, I remember like a lot of the episodes in season 1 started off with random characters that Roo was telling their origin story. And I was kind of like, I didn't know enough about Fez, and I didn't really know enough about Ashtray. So for me, it was like, this is my very first opening to the show. And so I was like, okay, all right, engage me, show me something. And they showed me everything. I had no idea or preconceived notion about Roo or Jules or any other character. It was just what it was. And it was such an interesting story, because in going back and watching it and leading up to that point, it was kind of like Mouse was putting him in a pressure cooker because of what Nate did. And it all led up to the point that, Ashtray ended up having to kill Mouse because of the ramifications of what Nate did. But even deeper than that, like why, Fez is the way he is, why we're at this point where like things are about to really get really dangerous very quickly, because the very opening of it, what I'm saying, like going from the flashback to the situation where they thought they might die because they all got, hammed up by this dude was like, yo, you got a wire on, strip, figure it out. You know what I'm saying? And like that unknown situation, like my first introduction to the show, I loved it. Because I had no idea what was actually going to happen. I didn't know what kind of show I was watching. So for me, coming in brand new, I was like, this is freaking nuts. And so what did you guys think about the sequence where Roo was in another compromised situation again? But even deeper than that, we didn't know who this woman was, nor these people that were in the house. What did you guys think was going to pop off? And how did you think about the scene personally? Anybody?
Oh, I'll go. Okay, so this was a crazy scene. I kept on asking myself, Roo, why are you there?
For drugs. She needed.
Like she could have hung out at the house while they did their thing. Like she didn't have to go with them. She could have waited until they were done with their business and then got the drugs that she needed to get. Like I just don't understand why she had to be there in the first place. Like I just don't. But I was worried about her because we were talking about this before. Like it's like a ticking time bomb. Like she's going to be in a situation where it's not going to be ideal and she's not going to be able to get out of it. And I'm just super worried about her. And this was another example of why I'm worried about her.
Right. Yeah. No, I definitely felt all of that because I was kind of like, I didn't know. I didn't know what the show was about. I was like, yo, like, I don't need to see like this very violent sexual act right now. And I don't need to see somebody's head get blown off right now. Like this, I didn't know. I really had no idea. If you had said, he just really wanted to check her wire, he was going to put her underneath the water to make sure she was good, I wouldn't have known. I really wouldn't have known. I have no idea. And I love that lack of knowing where things are going to go. But Ant, what did you think?
Look, she has no worries about being typecast as a Disney kid at all. She don't have to worry about that at all, or just Spider-Man's girlfriend, not at all, because this is her work. What I love about this show is I never feel like the characters are safe. Like I don't know that there's going to be a tidy, safe ending. And there's a couple times we discussed. I don't know. I guess we'll get to it. But there's a couple times where I had general anxiety about what was about to happen. Like and you don't know. They kind of bring you to this edge of it could happen, it could not happen, and
Right.
And I think we've all known people that live kind of recklessly, like just they just out there, and you're like, why? Like you not give a f, you not like are you okay with whatever happens? Like, and you have that general anxiety for like when you can't get in touch with that kind of person in your life, or you can't, or they go missing for a period of time and then they pop back up. You're like, oh, that's what this show kind of does for me. Where it's kind of like. It's like, all right, she's in. Oh man, I don't need to see this. I don't need to see. Okay, all right, look, baby girl, it's gonna be okay. I see you just call me. No, you back out there. All right, look. All right, no, you can't. No, I can't give you no more money. But if you need, here's some McDonald's. All right.
No, that's some real stuff, man. That's some real stuff. Because to your point, like, yeah, I agree. Like. We can go ahead and proceed on going into leading up to the party because last time we saw the character Cass, Cassie had just had an abortion because she had gotten pregnant with Chris. And I don't know if you guys like Chris in season 1, but I felt like they didn't do anything with Chris as a character at all. And I'm curious to see what will they do more with him. But as far as Cass, like, I think that the actress is an amazing actress. And the funny thing is, like, she is put in this compromised situation. I was like, anything can happen to this girl. And then Nate picks her up, of all people. And, like, that sequence when they were driving.
Praise upon her.
You know,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. It was a calculated.
Sorry, I'm going to cut you off.
No. It's fine. It's fine because we're going to have to talk about Nate anyway because a big part of what happens at the end surrounds Nate and Fez in leading up to that, which we'll get to. But
yeah, I will say real quick is that because I didn't really specify just the opening scenes where we sort of see like this origin story for Fez and it's like a spotlight on his grandma and people. There's just insane violence. I think there was something with a hammer. People are getting shot. There's just like erect penises everywhere. It's just ridiculous. And then the situation in the apartment. Yeah. Well, first off, the intro to Roo, where I believe she's like snorting crack and like rapping, like singing along to Tupac was just like I don't think I could have thought of a better introduction to Roo, unfortunately for her. But and also her being there. I mean, you know. Junkie logic, you know what I'm saying? Bing. But when they get in there and they're all told to like strip, it started feeling. I think that's one thing I admire about Sam. It's not easy to get underneath my skin, and the fact that Sam seems to do this with like just ease, like for a moment, like there was like a little boy in the apartment. I was like, geez, like there's no way to show a naked little boy, right? Like what the fuck is going on, Sam? We're not addressing anything specifically from the finale. Like it was a pretty nutty atmosphere for sure. By the time Roo's in the shower. So yeah, that whole opener was wild.
Yeah, the show it preys upon you. Like a lot of times feels like thriller. Like there's a lot of thriller moments that you don't know where it's going because, you know, Cass being, you know, at the gas station, being picked up by Nate, starts kissing Nate, then proceeds to take her seatbelt off and put her head outside of the window. Like, did any of you guys feel like a Final Destination moment was about to happen? Because I was like,
I was like, something's about to happen. Woo!
I thought this was about to be. This is when you're just drinking because they were drinking recklessly in the car. Also, a lot of privilege right there. Just drinking recklessly in the car, and the way they framed her taking off her seatbelt, I was like, is she gonna get killed? And then he's got to deal with the fact that he's gonna get I think it's manslaughter or it might be aggravated assault if you're drinking and driving and you kill somebody or something like that. But whatever it is, like I was like, oh man, I don't need to see this. But even more importantly, going back to like when people feel numb, and especially I don't know. Like when people feel numb, and sometimes when women feel numb, and they're just looking to feel anything. You saw that. I saw a predator personality like him, where he just goes. He's like, oh, yeah, I'm just gonna offer her a ride, like and he knew where that was all leading. He knew that was all leading, and he knew what he was doing. And she just wanted to feel something. I think at that point, after that trauma she just had, and he took advantage of it. And it's how many times people do things because they want attention or they want to feel something or they put themselves in compromising situations that can derail some of the things that are more important in their life, like friendships or safety or things like that. And it's just telling. It's really interesting how this show deals with trauma.
Well, it's interesting that you say that, Ant, because apparently the reason why she was where she was because she got into an argument with her sister. They were on their way to the party. So it's kind of like a domino effect as far as actions and consequences, because she got prayed by Nate because she argued with her sister and they wound up separating. And of course, Lex was trying to call her the entire time while they were at the party.
Yep.
And because she was calling her, she almost got caught in the bathroom.
Bro.
And the thing is, hurt people, right? Yeah. So Nate's dealing with his own hurt, and he takes that on everybody else around him. And that's the things like hurt people hurt other people. And it's just really interesting. These hold up how this whole web is connected. Everybody what they're dealing with affects everybody else. It's really well written.
Oh yeah. And first off, what was it? Nate Jacobs, the real life actor's name is Jacob. Fit in, but he's my second favorite character / performance on the show. That dude is amazing in this role. Like I was just telling Sam, like in real life, he just seems to be like a soft-spoken, like Australian guy. Like what the fuck? Like this dude's acting his ass off. He's a remarkable, like monstrous villainous character in my eyes, and like his that whole language. Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
like,
I think that's it.
The actors talked about how he sometimes like when he's being still or watching people, he sort of would give Nate like almost like a Jeffrey Dahmer kind of like serial killer stare, like in the way that he's watching Cassie, and he's making it so that the drink spills on her and they're going faster and faster. Like the suspense and on that car ride was pretty next level. I was pretty certain that he was gonna fuck up and we were gonna get almost like a Ari Aster Hereditary situation, but luckily that didn't happen. But man, oh man, that definitely skyrocketed my heart rate.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Jarrell. Because honestly, if I had seen the season 1 first before leading up to this episode, I would believe that he'd be capable of she falls out the car, dies, and he just leaves her tail there, straight up, and possibly pins it on somebody else. Like it's not from a psychological standpoint. Nate is imbalanced. Like there's points where he makes sound judgment, but a lot of the time his motivations are just all the way either to manipulate or clouded by his own issues. And I could really imagine a situation where Cass died right there. His ex is like, what happened? Did you see her? Like, and he's like, oh, this is an opportunity for me to get close to my ex again. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't put that past the character Nate, and that's insane. I've only seen one season of this dude, and he's left a mark. He's left a serious mark on the show, and I guess impression for us as audience members and critics, technically.
So he develops a lot of antisocial personality disorders. Or what people would actually, sometimes people would call like sociopathic tendencies. And so there's impulsive natures and so he has a lot of challenges himself, but he builds his outward appearance. Like it might be like working out, it might be being really charming when he wants to be, and all these other things to try to meet these core needs at the expense of others. And you can see that in the way of he likes to make people uncomfortable. I even wonder if the reason why he has a friend, we just said his name. Who's the kid that went to college but got the girl pregnant?
You're talking about Chris.
Chris, you see when he was like leaning over him and kind of towering over him and asserting his dominance and making him feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
It was creepy,
Like,
but yeah, I see. Yeah, it was definitely dominance and just it was just it was definitely both. Like it just it was just the acting. Oh my gosh! Like seriously, I was just like, "What are you doing, Nate? Like, why is that necessary? Is it because you had her first, but you want to tell him, and it's like,
Yeah.
you doing
yep.
that is like low key
Yeah.
trying to hint at him like there was something going on. Like it was just he's manipulative as hell, and
Yeah.
that's why Fez beat his ass up at the end. Like his manipulation just
Yeah.
came to head.
Yeah, he's very like if you've seen The Walking Dead, or like Charles Manson, but would probably be a good description. But he very much so has like a Negan like presence, where it's like he almost gets off on because he clearly has a huge lack of empathy. He almost just gets off on intimidating people and like control freak. Like manipulation seems to be something that like he almost like innately enjoys. It's pretty eerie.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree, because it was I feel like it's a combination. I think that he was getting off on the fact of like, you know what, I just was with her, but I think a part of him also is very possessive too. When he
Yes.
gets something for himself, a part of him was like, oh well, did you do this? Did you do that? Did you do this? And I think a part of that was like jealousy and possession. Like even though he just had this interaction just then, like I think a part of him was like, oh well, this is mine. Like, yeah, it was yours, it's mine right now. And that it's just fascinating how they wrote him to be so multi-layered and multifaceted.
Yes.
Yeah, so he had that lack of empathy towards what was going on everybody else, unless it directly affected him. Then he got kind of nervous because of what it might cost him access or his perceived. Like him getting beaten for everybody is going to hurt him a lot because it's perceived image for everybody else.
Yeah.
Right? So that's going to be really interesting how he responds to that to get control back. I think that even you can also relate to. Have you ever known somebody who has to? If you ever know somebody that's been with somebody, but then when they're with somebody else, that person has to let that other person know in like underhanded ways that I've been with them. Like they just can't let it. And it's that it was kind of that layer because it's not about them. It's about I now have something over you, right? Like I have some control over you. And it's very telling that personality traits and insecurities, like real deep-seated insecurities in that way. So it's amazing. It's like his performance is up right up there with Joffrey, in my opinion. Like you love to hate him, watch what he's going to do next, kind of thing.
Yeah, I agree.
Pretty much.
I definitely agree. So we got to talk about elephant in the room, the ending. I mean, we're going to talk about Rue. We're going to talk about Jules eventually, but I feel like we need to talk about the ending and how it led up to that. Because honestly, Fez, he was chilling. I was like, oh man, Fez about to give him a little girl. Like he kind of just chilling there, and Fez is just eyeing this man the whole entire time. And I can't remember which one of you guys said it. It was like the difference with Nate. Nate's been dealing with high school kids, and Fez low key is just a drug dealer. At the end of the day, he's not about this high school thing. He loves Rue, and he loves Rue's friends. Like he said, but at the end of the day, like if it came down to it, and somebody threatened his brother's life, he'd kill him. And technically, because of the ramifications of what Nate did, Nate was like, "Oh, bet. All right, Rue did this. I'm gonna put Nate in a situation. They're gonna have to be compromised. They lose their drugs. Now Fez has to go and rob from the guy that Mouse set him up to get money from." Then later on in the beginning of this episode, Ashtray knows for a fact that Mouse is about to rob them at gunpoint. He's like, "Bump that. I'm about to take a hammer to your head and kill you." And he kills him. But then that's the first time that Ashtray, I think, had blood on his hands. And I don't think that Fez vibed with that at all. Like it even said, like, he's been trying to take care of his younger brother, just like he takes care of his grandmother. And I think that at the end of the day, he knows for a fact that Nate compromised that he messed up his business. And so it's like, I don't know. Like, I was curious, you guys, the build up to that, the fight. Like, did you see it coming? What did you feel about it? And what do you feel like what's going to happen?
I'm so sad. First off, Luke was so wrong. It's unfortunate that you didn't watch season 1 and then get to that episode and then get to that moment, because to say that it was more heightened, Jesus Christ. Like, also, fun fact: Lexi is the really. I believe she's the daughter of Judd Apatow. So fun fact. But yeah, she when she was watching Fez, like it's just weird that she like picked up a vibe that he's about to like do some psycho shit, but like Fez takes off whatever like little hoodie he had on, casually walks over there. I was like, wait, is this it? Is this time? Is the nigga about to finally get it? Is it the time? You know? And when he was beating them, I was like, oh my Lord. Listen, this might be the very thing that turns him into John Milton's Satan. But hey, it was well deserved. It was long coming. Holy
I'm
shit.
low-key afraid for Fez just a little bit, just because Nate is just so diabolical. But Fez is from the streets, so
right.
I it's like, I'm wavering. I don't know who's gonna win ultimately at the end here. Like, because Nate has connections, and so he could easily set Fez up so he can go to jail. And then who's gonna look after his brother? So it's just I just don't know. Psychologically, I think Nate has the upper hand. But as far as fight and like rawness, Fez totally.
Yeah.
So the thing with Fez, and again, we all know those people. It's the person that runs their mouth and is the other quiet person, right? So the person runs their mouth, and you ever notice it's a guy that's just watching, not even saying anything. He's just watching the situation. And if you're watching it, he's gonna hit somebody out the blue. It's not no fair fight. It's not even about an ego at this point. He's hurt people before. He's gonna hurt people again. This is the step in what's going on, and that's Fez. The most chillest person, calm, polite. But there's a rule that when you breach that protocol, when you disrespect, when you get them hung up, then a person that goes off on somebody, and then everybody's like, "Whoa, I did not know you had." But we said. So Nate has connection, and again, Nate was all about that high school bullying life, and that social bullying stuff, and getting away with that manipulation and all. This ain't skins. you can't do that and mess up somebody's game, and because this is life or death for them. This is how they eat, and you can't get yourself, like I think Dave Chappelle said something like that. You can't get between somebody else and their food, right? And definitely not get somebody in their life. So. And this let everybody else know too. So this did a lot for Fez. So yeah, he get him hemmed up. But I think what the worry about Nate is, and Nate would ruin his life to get control back. So if he thought that legal ways weren't going to get him the one up again, he might just call the gun and shoot him. He's that kind of shooter that would do random stuff and get a bunch of people killed. Now, if he did that and let's say he succeeded. He's also the kind of guy that's going to get killed by Ashtray. Or if Ashtray feels that he threatens his brother, Ashtray, like, I need to do some time. I can do some time with you. I'm juvenile. I'll be out before 21. And get on record and some connections. All I did was kill a white boy. I'm good.
Yeah. Full circle kind of moment when he referred to Ashtray as his business partner, similar to how the grandma referred to him as her business partner. So yeah, it was definitely a full circle moment for both of them. Really, I don't know. I just love this show. It's so complex and just so deep. I'm just like, what? And these are high school like folk. Like it's so.
And everybody's different reaction to the fight when they're like, yeah.
Roo was like, damn, and we were like, damn.
And again, we've all been to a party where, especially us that was partying in the 90s and stuff. And I was trying to tell somebody like, yeah, we could go to clubs and no one would get shot up in the night. Like, I don't understand going to that. Like, I can't even understand that now. We knew we were going to the club, and we knew at the end of the night it was going to close early because someone was going to go shoot up the place. we went willingly. We willingly went to these events. But we've all been to a place where someone pops off and be like, damn, they stopped.
Yeah. It just occurred to me that, like, Jesus Christ, it just occurred to me that, I could be totally wrong, but I feel like at this point, because clearly Nate's not going to be dead. That'd be ridiculous. I think that there's going to be like this collision course where one of these niggas is burying the other. Either Fez is burying like Nate in the middle of some woods somewhere, and Nate's going to like, drive Fez's corpse into some kind of quarry somewhere surrounded by some mountains. Like, I feel like one of them has to die from this as a direct result from one or the other. You know what I mean? Because there's
He
no
would also get him locked up.
It really depends.
No,
it depends on. I don't think it's going to end like that. I think that one or the other is going to try to take away the thing that the other loves. And whatever that is, whether it's Nate or whether it's Fez, I think that that's where it's going to end up. Now, is that other person going to get killed? I do think so. I do think so. I don't know where this goes from here because the big thing is that Nate has a lot of pull. Like his dad is not just going to take that lightly. But at the same time, like, I don't know, like they have everything to lose because at this current time, I think that his ex made a copy of the dad's, sexual endeavors. So like she's got something against him. There's a lot to lose that Nate has. So when you corner a lion like that, I don't know. I really don't know what's going to actually happen ultimately.
Yeah, Nate ain't a lion though. Nate has a lion persona, but he ain't a lion.
Bro, listen.
I don't know because that man psychologically is not there.
Right.
He's not like it's kind of like, does he come off as like a whole pound? No. But like when he is off balance, like really off balance and out of control, he is the most dangerous thing I've seen in a long time on television. Because that scene when I don't know if you guys remember it from season 1, I think it was like the last episode where his dad kind of cornered him and they kind of got into a spat. His dad had him pinned down and he legit had a whole mental breakdown and started banging his head on the floor.
Bro.
And like his dad left the room. He was like, I need to leave this kid alone because he's gonna kill everybody in his house. I don't know what's going on.
when he had him pinned down and he started like convulsing and like like involuntarily, and his dad just left because he didn't know what to do. He was like, "Oh, fuck that." There was that, but I was gonna highlight. Remember when in season 1 when Nate was beating up that dude, and he was making the guy believe like he raped someone, and he was like, "Why'd you rape her? Why?" And he just started wailing on that dude. Like I literally thought he was gonna kill that kid. I forgot what kid this was.
He almost killed him because he's the one that had to go and put himself into jail because the way he set him up. Like the kid was like, "Look, I can't even see out of my eye, and right now, like I can't even breathe right." And he was like, "Oh, don't worry, it's okay. Don't worry, you're gonna be okay." And I was something wrong with that kid, bro. So we're almost running out of time. So we got to talk about Jules and Roo. Roo is introduced to a new friend, kind of, a drug accomplice, as you would, and he technically saves her life because she was going into possible cardiac arrest after doing heroin, after doing cocaine. And the other side of that, Jules is back in town. She seems to be making friends all over again, but she didn't know that Roo was at the party and they have their interaction. So what did you guys think about Jules and Roo in this episode? And what did you think about them being together and the merits behind that? Because me and Drew had a conversation of the fact that, yes, they are very good with each other, but they are very bad for each other at the same exact time. And I think it's like one of the most interesting Romeo and Juliet scenarios that I think I've ever seen on a modern level. But anyway, what do you guys think about Roo and Jules in this episode?
It's interesting that there wasn't enough of them together this episode, but of course Roo was trying to avoid her
the whole time,
and it probably is stemming from the special with Jules in a way, but I mean they just have that chemistry, Hunter and Zendaya. I just like you said, they just seem right together, but also wrong together. It's just really weird, and unfortunately I think it is stemming from Roo's addiction. I feel like if she was, clean, maybe their relationship could be a little more healthy, but because Roo is dependent, like Jules was saying, kind of like on her sobriety, like that was too much. That was unfair pressure on Rue's part with Jules. Like that dependency, if there's a codependent relationship happening and they need to fix that element to their relationship so it could be a little more healthy. And because they're teenagers, they don't really know how to do that. They're kind of just trying to figure things out in a general sense. So yeah.
Yeah, man, oh man, Rue and Jules. Like when they first saw each other, I was like, damn it, dog, damn it. It sort of reminded me like when I used to watch Smallville, and like in the later seasons when Lana and Clark would be together, I'd be like, can y'all niggas just stop? Like, you guys are so clearly, I mean, great chemistry, of course, but like you were so bad for each other in every other sense. So it was really painful seeing them interact together because I just think it's just going to lead to nothing but trouble. For God's sakes, Jules left her at like a train station or some shit, and then she OD'd like right after. So yeah, I don't know. This is nothing but trouble for me. Great chemistry, like performance-wise, between actresses, but it's just going to lead to one of their downfalls.
Or both.
Or one of them dying potentially, maybe.
Yeah. What about you, Ant? What did you think about both characters? I mean, you can even go as deep as to what do you think about their characters from psychological level, any way you want to spin it.
Well, I think that we already talked about the codependency level, codependency of their relationship, and I even think that underlying, I liked how they showed the manipulation of Rue just saying, "Oh, if you really want me to be honest, it was when you left." That way, you put some blame, some guilt on the other person, and it's really hard for people to kind of go, especially somebody you care about, to be like, "It's not my responsibility." Right, and that's a hard thing to do, especially when you're so young. You don't know how to process, and you want to save everybody, and you want to do it, not realizing that's not helping them be healthy. That they can throw that off on you. That your actions somehow led to them doing this negative act towards their own functioning. And so that was, and again, they wrote it in a way that seemed like I'm just going to tell her, but no, it was manipulation. It was really manipulation. I really like how they showed just how dysfunctional that was, and some active behaviors. When she was in the laundry room, and again, I felt the anxiety. She was like, "Oh, that's my heart. That's my heart." And he was like, "Oh, okay, cool." She was like, "Yeah, I think I'm." She said, "I think I'm dying," or something like that.
I'm going to cardiac arrest.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, what?" He's like, "I just came here to get high." Like, I did not come here. Like, what do I need to do? And she's like, "Look, just I got that Adderall in my boot." "In your boot?" "In my boot." Like, I need you to crush that up maybe real quick. You got about like, you gotta get like 2-3 minutes. I'll be here. and then if you ever known a person like that, when he was like, oh fuck, it's like, I'm sorry I met you. She's like, "No, I'm your new favorite person." I was like, oh, she got him. Because with that personality type and where that was, it's gonna work for her for a couple more years. They're friends now. He knows where to go. He knows how to his addiction is gonna, I don't know where his addiction's at, but it's gonna grow. That was a beautifully written scene. That happened to somebody in real life, and they put that on paper. So,
right.
I mean, Sam has said that he
suffered from addiction.
Yeah, drug addiction. So yeah, it definitely shows. Sam definitely shows.
Yeah. One thing I could add to the Jules and Rue situation is that in the finale, I didn't like the fact that Rue set herself up for failure because she was trying to push Jules away. She was like, you know what? Like, we should just go run away together. And she even said, she was like, I didn't think she would actually leave, though. Like, she was like, oh, well, I'm going to kind of push her to this limit, because she's going to turn away. And instead, no, Jules was like, no, yeah, let's do it. But then Jules just stayed and left. And that's why I thought that the special episode was really good, because it filled in a lot of gaps. Jules, in certain episodes, I was like, why is she acting like this? I was like, I get it. Like, the codependency is too much for her. But then they started to level out certain things about Jules that I didn't understand. Jules has said she'd never even been with a girl. And so for her, it was like, this is very different. This is different territory because she's never even been with an actual girl. And on top of that, like, your mom also was an addict. And so a part of that is like, you're going to be putting blame and you're going to be putting a lot of strain on your relationship anyway. Not only is the fact that you really actually need her to help fulfill you emotionally, but then you're also going to be judging her before she even came to you anyway. And then Roo is using her like a drug. And it's like, I don't know realistically what's going to happen, because now that they're together, like Ali was like, look, dog, the only way you can be able to heal is you don't need anybody in your life that you can use as a drug right now. Right. Like, you need to kind of chill. And that's why I love those specials. Specials fill so many gaps of where we are right now. But it's like, it didn't matter now because like kids, like teenagers, they're right together. And I don't know what that means. And adding in this new person, I think that he's going to be an enabler for Rue from a drug standpoint, and also possibly an affection standpoint, because I think that a part of Rue is still hurt by what Jules did. So it's going to be really interesting to see where this goes. I thought this was a really great discussion, you guys. Anybody got anything else before we close up?
Yeah, I like what you said about their how she's going to be seeking attention now, and I think you're right. And she's been looking to fill those gaps. And I was just reading a book with someone called "It Didn't Start With You." It talks about epigenetics. The things get flipped to trauma in your genetic code get flipped with the trauma that parents experience. It gets passed on to their kids, and you deal with that with also environmental things like that. So it's very interesting they're putting some of that stuff in there of generational trauma. So it's a good book. Kind of starts off kind of weird, but it's a good book. It's called "It Didn't Start With You." If anybody wants to read it.
Oh wow! Shout out to that reference. Man, y'all going in on this after show. It's gonna be raw, y'all. Y'all better be ready. Come correct.
I mean, it's the show, so I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys, this has been pretty amazing. Unless you guys have something else, we're gonna close up shop. Anybody else?
One more thing, I'm low-key shifting Lex and Fez, so that means
yes.
that, unfortunately,
no.
Lex is I feel like Lex is in danger because of that, because now Nate is out for blood. So I'm just,
oh my God,
you gonna turn Lex into one of those girls and date some drug dealer in college, and she gonna keep dating him until the car she in gets shot up, and she was like, you know what, this ain't my life no more.
No, for real.
That's a real comment.
The flirting between Lexi and Fez was so adorable to me. I was like, oh shit, my boy's getting in there, dog. And it also
he sounded sincere.
He did.
Yeah,
he really did. It was a real conversation.
He was just as sincere as that violence afterwards. Like he probably looked at her on the way out, like, listen, I know I did what I did, but like I'm still gonna call you. You know what I'm saying? But you know what? Lexi might get it. Nate might go after Lexi. You know, maybe she's who dies instead. You know.
I mean, that would suck because we were just starting to get to know her. Like,
right.
That's not the case, but
yeah, I can see like some romance building up, and we're like, yeah, woo, and then like just right once we sort of have forgot about it, Nate's psycho ass is gonna be peeking around the corner and just blow her brains out. Probably.
I know I already talked, but can we talk about that girl in the car that was calling her a junkie bitch while she seen the heroin in her crotch?
Oh yeah,
I know you.
I was like such a hypocrite. I was like, why are you such a hypocrite right now? But she was hot, so of course she would say that. Like, come on, now.
She was like, I'm not no fucking junkie while she's doing heroin. I was like, what?
Like Rue is looking at her like,
in your crotch? All your veins gone? They gotta be in the crotch.
Looking like, I don't know what's going on, but no, dog. Like, Rue is kind of like, yeah. Yeah.
There's no toilet paper in the daggone bathroom. Come on now. You at a party, you don't have enough toilet paper.
That was rude behavior, by the way. If you ain't getting a quickie, do your business, get the hell out. You can't be holding up the only appearance bathroom. Do your business and get out. That was rude as fuck. That was bad protocol.
Homie took a crap. So
look, he was like, look, you hot now. I'm gonna take this crap.
He was like, listen, you're really hot, but I'm still gonna take a shit.
And looked her in the eye and penis all out, looked her right in the eye.
For real.
Wait, so how many penis shots was it? I think it was about 2 or 3 penis shots in this episode. I'm like,
no, there was a lot of penis shots.
It was a lot. I mean, it started off with the dude getting shot in his legs, man.
Right.
Like, oh man. Look, deal with all your issues before you come. Equal opportunity. 2022.
Oh, dude, did anyone think for a moment that like Fez and Zendaya were gonna get butt ass naked? Because for a moment I was like, listen, if her Disney card hasn't been removed yet, my nigga, it's about to get yanked. It's about to get yanked. My boy Tom Holland's about to be the first nigga watching that premiere.
He's one of the few people that I've noticed that has not tried to remotely get naked. Like, I don't even think she's worn even bathing suits in a movie or whatever. So
she reveals more on a red carpet than she does in any movie. Anything she does.
Hey, so Jarrell, you and me looked at Malcolm and Reid. I thought she did in Malcolm and Reid.
She was never like nude. She wasn't nude.
I thought she was. I thought you remember it was after the bath sequence, in the bed sequence. I could have sworn that was the first time that she did that.
My nigga,
I could be wrong.
If she had been nude in the way that them fools was stripping in this premiere episode, I would have had to remember this.
Yeah, but
there's no way. Anyway. I mean, I know she was like in a bathtub, but I don't think we saw anything. Basically, is my point.
I can't remember.
I don't think we saw.
Nor was I trying to look. But anyway,
well, no, that wasn't what I was trying to say. But I'm just, in a general sense, she's done a pretty good job as far as like keeping close. Like I feel like she's adamant about like not really revealing too much of her body.
It's very intentional. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's fair. But like, I was like, oh my god, Zendaya about to just drop trowel? Like this is, oh my goodness.
Oh man. So does anybody have any idea what's gonna happen next? Because I feel like there's still gaps that we really don't know.
Right.
From a time standpoint.
Yeah.
Even a time standpoint coming from, the specials to this episode. I feel like, the show always goes and does like a flashback. That's one of the things they did really well in the first season was flashbacks. But I cannot predict what's about to happen next. So I don't know if y'all had anything before we close up. And any of you guys that are in the chat right now, make sure you leave something in the chat. We will be possibly doing giveaways at the end of each after show. So definitely participate in the chat. We'll be watching it. So you guys have anything anticipated for next episode?
I think it would be intriguing to see them play with time. Like, for example, it'd be intriguing to see like another flash forward where like there's been some time and Roo and Jules have been together surprisingly for quite some time and Nate's healed up. It'd be interesting to see what the overdose from the season 1 finale looked like.
I want to see that too.
Outside of her head. That would be intriguing.
Yeah.
Or seeing like what it was like for Jules' perspective when she was on the train and we're just seeing Zendaya be a dot in the distance and we pick up from it would be interesting to see them play with time that way. That'd be great.
Yeah, because we don't know. The last time we saw Jules, she said to Roo, which I still pissed me off. She was like, "Oh, I'm in love with this other girl I just met, and I'm in love with you too." And we don't know what happened with that relationship. Like Jules could have went, and that's who she was staying with the whole entire time. Because Jules wasn't beyond doing stuff. So I don't know. I don't have any anticipation either. Ant or Nat, y'all have anything for next episode?
Well, I mean, I'm hoping that we kind of play catch up with everyone else, like with Maddie, with Kat, with, even Cassie, like leading up to the argument with her and Lex before the party. Like, I just don't know what happened in the interim, like what led up to that? Is it because of her abortion? Like what's happening with that?
True.
Yeah.
I'm just seeing other people's stories that we haven't really got to delve into yet, and seeing other people's perspectives, even to the party, because we saw some characters in the background that were there, and I'm interested to see what they've been doing this whole time jump. I know we can't accurately say what the time jump was based on Ashtray's age, because he grew a couple feet in the intro.
Yeah.
So,
Ashtray definitely jumped a couple years.
I'm feeling like it's between Christmas and New Year's, because this was the New Year's party. So the special occurred around Christmas. So I'm thinking there's not too much of a gap, but it'll be really interesting to see if they're even going to time jump to us dealing with the pandemic, because based on when this was filmed, that could have an impact as well on these relationships. So I'm just curious to see if they're going to even do that.
Yeah, and an addiction during a pandemic. It's a lot of
That would be interesting to see Sam kind of embrace the pandemic and kind of bring it in like a apocalyptic way, which would be funny because unfortunately that's what's actually kind of happening.
Right. Yeah, that's part of the reason why the show took so long to even come out for the second season. So,
but I can't remember when a show first episode of the season got me this like satisfied but wanting more of a new thing. So this was awesome.
Yeah. So I think this is a good time to close up shop. So everybody, I'll let you plug yourself. So Nat, you're up first.
Okay, you can follow me at WillCat12 on Twitter and Instagram. I'm definitely more on Twitter than I am on Instagram, but definitely follow me on both. And I'm here on Team JVS as well. So hey.
Woo, woo. Woo, woo. And go.
You can find me here on JVS, or you can also look on YouTube, Drunk Geek. I haven't posted in a while. I'm starting to rev up some more videos, so see you there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And last but not least.
Yeah, if you look in the corner there, exactly as it's spelled. That's my YouTube channel. That's me on Twitch. And from those avenues, you can find me on Twitter. I'm always posting pretty similar content to what Sam is doing. So, yeah.
So we will be back again. Make sure you guys participate in the chat. There will be giveaways. I will not say what those giveaways are. They could be movies. They could be movie tickets. It could be something completely different. So if you participate in the chat, if you follow these guys, especially on their Twitters, there may be some extra things involved. So I appreciate all you guys for coming. We will be back next week, and we may or may not be watching more episodes in just a little while.
Oh, please.
Falling out the top of the I can see skyline, 50 mile radius on the top.